Well, Chelsea Ross and Chad Cook, welcome to Tongue Tied Riding Tie Interviews.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
You are here because you won the World Championship Equathon. You were not only the team winner, but you also were the first Equathon overall to come in. And so you are our world champions. You beat the Iron Equathon as well. So, first off, congratulations. That was great.
Thank
And
you.
I want to talk about that. I know it was your very first race, and so I want to get to that later. But first, I want to talk a little bit about your backgrounds a little bit. And so I always love it when this happens. This is kind of what Equathon is all about. Chad, you are not a rider, correct?
That's correct.
So how often have you ridden?
Maybe twice in Boy Scouts when I was a teenager, and once on Chelsea's horse for about 15 minutes.
There we go. There we go. I have. I don't know if this is good or bad news for you, but the women in our lives have ways of reeling us in. And I didn't ride until about 15 years ago. I was a mountain biker and a runner. I had no interest, and now look at what happened. So look out.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
So
mountain bikes too.
say
So
that
this is
again.
my first attempt at reeling him in. This was
Okay.
our first like horse fixer. So
Well, Chad, I've got a barn full of mountain bikes. I don't know when the last time I was on one, so look out, buddy. Well, Chelsea, tell me a little bit you and your equine career.
I started riding when I was 8, and I grew up like trail riding. And then in college, I bought an off-the-track thoroughbred because they were cheap, and that horse wasn't very good at trails, so I switched to eventing, and I still event now. So endurance is like our secondary sport, and my horse loves it, so we do it, and mostly we event.
Okay, so tell me about the horse.
Yeah, her name is Vesper. She's an off-the-track thoroughbred. I got her November 2022, and we did the thoroughbred makeover in 2023. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun. We placed fairly well there. And Tim Warden actually was my farrier at the time.
Okay,
And the first time he did her, he was like, you really should come out to an endurance ride. So he kind of hooked me in and got me going in it. And the horse just, she really likes it. She's, thoroughbreds like to go and go forward, and that's her job, and she's good at it. So we keep doing it.
that's great. And she's how old now?
She's 7.
7. Okay, oh, wow. So she's got a long career ahead of her. That's super.
I
Yeah.
hope so. You
Yeah, well,
never
that's
know.
always the yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So this was your first Equathon. You had done a little bit of endurance, but how did you hear about Equathon? How did you decide you wanted to try it this time?
I guess just being at the rides, I'd see runners out on trail, and I'd hear about it in ride meetings. And I was like, well, it sounds like fun. I'd love to do that one day. I was trying to get Tim Morton to do a ride and tie with me. And because, he used to be a runner. And then I started dating this guy, and he's a runner. So we were going to try ride and tie. But after I put him on my horse and the steering was a little iffy, I was like, well, let's just try an equithon.
Yeah,
So we decided to start there, and it was a little easier entry into the ride and tie sport than
yeah, yeah.
there.
I used to call Equathon the gateway drug into riding tie, and it still kind of is, but it has really become a sport of its own. And this World Championship proved it. There were 22 teams that started that race, and that is the most ever in a World Championship, and likely or possibly the most ever in any Equathon because it's still a
Oh,
fairly new thing.
yeah.
And so that makes your accomplishment even more impressive. And so I want you to walk me through the ride portion first, and then we'll get to the run portion. And so tell me, we had an exciting start there, and then walk me through your whole ride portion, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah. Okay. So it was usually, so I've done like 3 LDs and a 50, and all of those I've left, maybe 10 minutes after everybody else, just because I don't, off the track, like I don't want the excitement of the start. But I was down there anyway for the vet check, so I was like, well, we'll give it a try. So I started with all of y'all, and yeah, we got to the top of the hill, and I don't know what happened. She just started bucking for a bit. But she chilled out a little bit, and I was really having to hold her back, and I was nervous, honestly, about finding the trail, so I wanted to stick with you guys, for a little ways. Um, But man, you guys were going out fast. I didn't really expect that. Like usually I start out just like walking or trotting and so I was holding her back and I was getting tired and she was getting more pent up and nervous and I was like, I just need to let her go by herself. Like she was really holding back. So yeah, I think I said like passing you on your right and I just kind of let her go and I knew she'd settle down in a couple miles once she got to stretch her legs a bit and um but we just kept going and she felt great. We stopped at every water. I sponged her off. Like she drank a little bit at I guess it was the top of the hill where the trough was.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, she just kept rocking it. She cantered the whole like uphill gravel portion of it.
Mm-hmm.
I stopped and walked her, but her breathing was great, so I just let her keep going. And we tried to walk at least half that last mile back into camp, but she seemed fine. And yeah, she drank great when we got back to camp and pulsed down really well. And yeah, so
Yeah. I want to tell it a little bit from my perspective too, because I was there and I was so impressed. So the first experience I have with you is you bucking kind of right next to me there. I'm like, holy
yeah,
cow.
I'm so sorry. I didn't
No, it's no problem. It's great. But my guy is a little high strung, but my horse, he's an Arab, but he is just wickedly fast and he's got this incredible trot. And so my strategy was get him out there in his happy trot and let's get to the front of the pack and see if maybe I can get back in and give my runner, who was an Army Ranger, convinced to come run for me and see if he's got a shot at it. And so we're right doing our exactly what we want to do. The three horses from our farm were all together, maybe 3/4 a mile or so into the race. And then I hear this voice behind me, can I pass on the right? And I said, sure. And you came by and that's the last, and all I see is just horse and tail and ponytail, I guess, flying. And we all, we're moving along pretty good, but not like you were. I mean, you were just flying. And I said to Carrie Barris, who was riding her horse Comet next to me, I said, I wonder if she's going to be able to keep up that pace, if she's going to get that horse's heart rate down, or if she's going to override the horse. And then when we got to the first water thing, we could see you, that the first big stream crossing, and you were there in the stream, cooling her down, that kind of thing. And then I don't know if you saw us and took off, or it was just time to go, but you were gone. And the next couple of waters, we saw you. But then once we got to that big, I guess it's about 3 miles of uphill gravel road, we never saw you again. And so our hope was, well, maybe she'll have trouble getting its heart rate down. Not because it'd be a problem, just because the horse is tired. But when we were coming in, Chad's already coming out. And so we're like, well, that's not good. And so she did, as you said, pulse down quickly. And in Equathon, as soon as the horse hits pulse criteria, the runner can go. And so, Chad, pick up the story from there.
Yeah. Well, I'll first start by saying that I'm a big planning runner, and that I like to see a map with elevation profiles and mile markers and all that kind of stuff. I had none of that. So I really had no idea what I was getting into. So I wanted to make sure I went out pretty easy. But someone mentioned earlier in the morning, or maybe the day before, that the split off was at the top of the hill. That's all I heard. And I knew it was on that CC Camp Road. So I was like, well, I expect that to be a big hill. But it was so gradual, I was just able to hold a pretty good pace all the way through there. Once I hit the horse trails, crossing the creek, the two creeks, just blasted right through them. And I just really didn't know what to expect. So I walked a lot of the uphills, because I didn't know how long they were going to be, or how sharp, or how many I was going to hit, which was probably the right choice, because there's a lot more climbing distance than there is descending. You came down really fast back to CC Camp Road. And so, I just ran my own race. I figured by 4 or 6 miles, if no one had caught up to me, that I was probably okay. And then when I hit the gravel road again, I hammered pretty hard on that last mile and a half, until the bottom of the hill. And that was about it. It was a fun run.
All right.
Horse too.
my experience when I'm kind of up front at some time is in some ways that's more stressful than knowing there's somebody in front of you because you just don't you imagine these footsteps behind you and all. Do you have any of that?
No, not really.
Yeah.
She and I talked about it. We didn't come in there to be competitive or
Uh-huh.
anything. Um, yeah, she actually told me she was going to take a whole lot longer
Yeah.
than she did.
He
So
gave me the plan and he was like, well, what time should I be ready? Because I'm very much like, oh, I show up to the ride meeting, they tell me
Yeah.
what color to follow and why do you have to plan so much? Like, why do you need a course map? I don't know. But um, so I'm trying to prepare him and he's like, what time do I need to be ready? And I was like, oh, 14 miles. It'll probably take me between 2 and 3 hours. And yeah, so I was just glad he was there and ready
Yeah.
to run when I got in because I came in, I was like, where's my runner? I was worried he was still back at camp because we came in faster than I expected. So
You're
yeah,
probably in just a little over an hour, right? Or a little more, a little
I
less, hour and
actually
15, something like that, maybe.
I have no idea. I didn't
Yeah.
pick up my vet card. I forgot. So
yeah.
I
Oh,
don't know. They
I
haven't posted results.
stepping back to while she was out on the ride, I was in jeans and boots in the morning
yeah.
and went back to camp and was like, oh, I've got a couple hours. I'm not going to hurry or get anything ready. And I see other runners dressed, doing warm ups, running laps,
Yeah.
carrying stuff down to the cruise station. I'm like, oh, they know something I don't know. And so I carried all the stuff down there. I wasn't down there for more than maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And she comes walking up the hill. So really glad I was looking around, paying attention to other
Yeah.
people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's great.
yeah, and you don't have service out on trail, so I tried to text him to let him know, like, hey, I think I'm running early, but
Yeah.
I.
Well, y'all are proving already to be a great team because there's that deal where you just kind of have to figure it out sometimes and you can't communicate. And so, by you watching the other runners, Chad, and realizing maybe I need to get on down there, and I guess I'm glad you went on down there. No,
I you don't have
no, that's fine. I really am. I want it to be a good, hard race, and so that was good. Well, tell one of the things that I just love is I want to make sure it's true, but that day was your 1 year date anniversary. Is that correct?
The day before, but
The
yeah,
yeah.
day before. Okay. Well,
yeah,
what a way to start year number 2, then, huh? World
yeah.
champions.
Yeah,
Good deal.
we thought it would be a great like just weekend trip, like camping and kind of merging our hobbies. And it was the first time I really like brought him into like the horse world. So I was like, this is going to be a great test,
Yeah.
like see how it goes. But it went really well, and we had a good time, and it was beautiful up there. So it was
Yeah,
nice.
it sure was. What was Equathon the only thing you did the weekend, or did you do you
Yeah,
did,
I think that's why, like we didn't sign up for ride and tie or anything else. So
yeah,
like my horse was fresh. Like
yeah,
nobody else's horse was fresh. So I think that
right.
helped a lot.
Yeah, yeah, cool. Okay, so what is next for you guys in the ride and tie and Equathon world?
Don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if we picked another one. I think we'd like to do another one because it
Yeah.
was a lot of fun and it was, like I said, a good way to merge our hobbies, but we haven't picked one yet. So
Okay. Well, I hope you will. I hope to see you out there again. And if Chelsea, you decide that you want to ride and tie, we can always find you a partner too. I don't want to take you away from Chad. We eventually you're going to get him on the horse. Don't worry. But that may take a few years. It's okay.
well, I wouldn't be a very good ride and tie partner because I'm a slow runner, but and my horse isn't very good either because she's kind of tall, so it'd be
Yeah, well,
hard.
that's true. How tall is she?
She's 16'1".
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh, holy cow, that'd be tough. My
Yeah.
guy's like 15'1" or 2, and by the end of a riding tie, he gets taller and taller. It feels like so.
Yeah, yeah. Once I had to get off in my first LD at like 22 miles, and I fell getting back on because I was like, oh, I don't have the legs that I like. I haven't
Yeah.
have back on.
Good.
Respect to you guys.
Well, if somebody, maybe a couple that have a horse and a rider and a not a rider, a runner, want to get interested or think about Equathon, what advice would you give them, or what would you say?
Um, I mean, I think if you've done any kind of endurance, like just go ahead and sign up. Like it was pretty straightforward since I'd already done some LDs. And you guys were super welcoming. It was, there were like the ride meeting and everything. Like everybody answered my questions. I got even walked down to like, here's the vet check, and it was great. I don't know what you think from the running standpoint.
My thing is always just make sure you're having fun. If it's not fun, it's probably not worth being there. So don't worry about winning or pace or anything else. Just go to make sure you enjoy what you're doing.
Yeah. What great advice, Chad, because it really is. To finish is to win. It is the ride and tie and the Equathon mantra, and we just want everybody to go there and have fun. And that was exactly what happened that day. Of the 22 teams, some of them knew at the start, we're going to be really slow. We're just going out to have a good time, and that's fine. And so, yeah, good. All right. Well, congratulations again, world champions. And world champions in the biggest yet Equathon World Championship. So you really can pat yourselves on the back. And as I said before, I sure hope to get to see you out there again before too long.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. See you later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.